Okay guys, so we are now on the Sunday or edge of the 2 years, 2022 and 2023. The Sunday is the place in the chart between two signs or houses, or sometimes when the one Mahadasha is changing to another Mahadasha. So usually these moments are quite vulnerable, and similarly the current time. So thank you very much for being here on this channel with me on this journey. And although it's a relatively small number when we compare this to other YouTube channels, but when I think about all of these people, when I see the number of views, even if we make the 1/3 of this number, and if I imagine that these old people are in the classroom, then I'm still very satisfied and happy that I can interact with that number of people on this channel. So in this year, I've made a great experience and also meet a great number of incredible people. I'm very grateful for that. I must say that I'm satisfied with the progress I made in this year when it comes to scripting, recording, editing, grading. We also made a lot of investment, the new lens, lamps, filters, microphones to make this experience as professional, smooth, enjoyable as possible. So I wish you all happy 2023. I hope to do the same in the new year, educating and motivating you. So again, thank you a lot and see you in the next year. I thought also that we can do one chart. John Denver was born on 31 December 1943 and his real name was Rgendarz. He was the singer, songwriter and guitarist, and also was into activist and environmental issues. We will analyze his chart specifically from the perspective of 4 Parivartanas he has in the chart. Parivartana is when two planets are exchanging the signs or the houses. So if we see his chart, then he has Parivartana, this exchange between Saturn and Moon, because Saturn is in Taurus and Moon is in Aquarius, so they are exchanging the signs. Then we have between Mars and Venus, because Mars is in the Venusian sign Taurus and Venus is in Martial sign Scorpio, so this is the second one. Then we have the third Parivartana, third exchange between Jupiter and Sun. Jupiter is in the Sun sign Leo and Sun is in the Jupiterian sign Sagittarius. This is quite negative Parivartana because here the Dushtana, the evil house, 8th house, is involved. And then the fourth one is in the Navamsha between Mercury and Saturn, because the Mercury would be in the Saturnian sign in the 8th house and the Saturn is in the 4th house in the Virgo. So again, the signs are exchanged. So the first Parivartana which I want to say, and they are very much connected, is between Moon and Saturn and that Venus and Mars. The Saturn is also the Night Lord, and we know that his father was very much army man, and his experience of childhood was not the best. In the biography in Wikipedia we get to know that his father was quite cold, he had a problem with exchanging emotions. So we see that the Night Lord of father is in the Lagna, so it's like father is dominating because it's with the Mars. Now from the Ninth Lord to the Sun we have 8 houses. This is also negative, so always count from Ninth Lord to the Sun. Often when the relation is second 12, then you will see that the father is absent, either physically or also emotionally. So in this case this is 6-8 relationship, which is also not the best. And now what is very interesting is that he went to California, so we see that one Lagna Lord is in the 7th house, then one is leaving the place. The father was chasing him basically and brought him back to his birth town. So we see that there is this could be very much seen by all these 3 Parivartanas, because the 4th Lord Sun, this shows that the father's son will have something to do with his place, and there's this Sun-Jupiter Parivartana, so this is negative. This must have been some bad experience when it comes to home, right? 4th Lord in the 8th, so he felt not so good and then he escaped. And also the Lagna Lord in 7 shows also the living in place, and there is also this Parivartana Mars and Venus, and the 9th Lord Saturn Moon, the 3rd Parivartana. So all these 3, we can say that they are justifying this experience, but the best would be to see the Dasha. And when that happened, it was about this Leo Narayana Dasha, so the Sun and Jupiter Parivartana is very much there. And the 9th Lord, which is showing this coldness, is also in the Lagna, which is showing that dominating father. And this father is chasing him and bringing back to his birthplace. So this is this Saturn moon Parivartana there. Also, one interesting thing is that if we open his Navamsha, he has Sun and Venus in the 3rd house. So planets in the 3rd house will often show elements or people or circumstances where we have some kind of fight or conflicts. So we know that he was also an anti-political activist. So that Sun, which is showing both father and government in 3rd house, will show that these items or these elements in his life will be in the form of some kind of conflict. So this will be these patterns always when he will find himself opposite to these elements. And now we were saying that this Parivartanas will have to do with many things in her life, and this also we said that this moon and Saturn and Venus and Mars they will be connected. So this is very important when we talk from the perspective of his partnership, relationship or intimate life, because we will see that his Upapada is originally in the 2nd house in the Gemini, right? But 8th house is stronger, so it will go to the 8th house. There is this 4th lord and 8th house. Normally this shows this could be related to the some love from the birthplace or early marriage. So he married when he was 21. The Sun is also showing that. But if we see the 2nd from Upapada, because 2nd from Upapada is related to sustenance of relationship and all kinds of affairs or all problems, challenges to the relationships, they will be very much seen by this point. And we are very sure about that when we will see the Dasha, because we will get to know that his divorce, or when that marriage collapsed, was exactly in the 4th Dasha of Saturn. So exactly in that time when Saturn came, this relationship was finished. And we will see that 2nd lord from the Upapada, 2nd lord from Upapada is Saturn. So this is exactly there. And in the biography, in the Wikipedia, he admitted that, and even his wife admitted that this marriage was early and he couldn't somehow unify the success he had and also the many partners who were accessible at that time. And he had many affairs, many relationships. We can see that by this relationship between 1st and 7th, Venus and Mars. So there is this Bacchus Triyoga, but also the 2nd from the Upapada, the Saturn, is connected also to that Mars. So this is showing also that thing. And because in the Navamsha we have Mercury in 8th house, which is showing the career life was problematic. Mercury may show also financial issues, communication, and sometimes even the in-laws, so the families and so on. But the 2nd from Upapada was that Saturn, and the Saturn is also 10th lord. We'll also later see that Mars and Taurus also justify his career life in singing, because 10th lord from Moon is that Mars. That Mars is with the Moon in the Navamsha. So again, the Navamsha is showing the career life, and the Mars is in Taurus. So Taurus is again loaded by the Moon, and the Moon shows singing. Therefore, this 10th lord in the Lagna shows very much success and fame from his career life, and 10th from Moon being Mars, this shows this is related to entertainment, because Mars and Venus has this Parivartana, and the Moon specifically will show singing. Also, what is very interesting is that when that divorce happened from the perspective of Rasi Dashas, it was all related to that Leo and Sagittarius, and we have this Sagittarius Upapada, and this has this exchange with the Leo, and in Leo we have this A7, and A7 is showing other type of relationship. So he's like exchanging this marriage for relationship, and that happened also in the Rasi Dashas connected to that Jupiter, which is 8th lord in the Rashi. 8th lord is showing the divorce. Also, we will see that Atmakaraka is Saturn in the 4th house in the Navamsha. So when Atmakaraka is in the 4th house in the Navamsha, it shows that the person is very much hardworking, dedicated to work, because this, if we count from Atmakaraka, which is called Karakamsha in the Navamsha, to the Navamsha Lagna, the ascendant in the chart called Navamsha, this is very much showing personality of the person. So here we will have 10 houses, which is showing the career life. So from Atmakaraka to the ascendant in the Navamsha, count these houses. This will tell you a lot about the person, about their character, personality, And if we have 10 houses, this is very much about the career life. We will also notice that his Aruda Lagna is in the Leo. This is because we know that he was working in the entertainment, so the planet in the Digbala, in the directional strand, will show the sector. And here the Venus is in the 4th house from Aruda Lagna, and Venus is showing the entertainment. So the Aruda Lagna is in Leo, and Jupiter is in the Aruda Lagna, and Moon is in the 7th from the Aruda Lagna. So this is the perfect yoga for fame. Jupiter and Moon in 1st and 7th from Lagna or Aruda Lagna promotes the fame, and he has both planets from the Aruda Lagna. And now when we are talking about the Sun, we need to add that he died in the plane crash. And that was when he was 53. And this is still loaded by the Sun. Now Sun is in the 8th house, which may show the premature death, and in the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is related to accident, but we need to have some Venus, which is showing the vehicles. This could be cars or planes, and there should be some Scorpio or Rahu Mars. So here we have Ketu, which shows accident, and Venus in Scorpio. Okay guys, if you like this video so far, please don't forget to click the like button. It really makes a difference. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you like to get notified about similar videos in the future, then please hit the subscribe button with the bell notification on. And now let's go back to this video. Having the Kartari on that Sun, so we can say that he got all the fame in the Leo Dasha, because that was the Aruda, and the Jupiter on the Aruda. The Sun is also showing the music and this being behind the scene and standing on the scene, performing, all that, especially in the Navamsha, we have that Sun with the Venus, so this is very much related to entertainment. So in that stage of life, he got all the limelight. This was also related to Venus, because Venus is in 10th house from the Moon, and this is 7th house, which is showing the public, which is showing the people, outsiders, entertainment, the fame. 7th house is also showing the war, so he is basically winning the awards. He is winning the hearts of the people in that time. But then this is all ending with that Dainya Parivartana or negative Parivartana when he is 53, because then it is all going to the 8th house, and there we have the Sagittarius, which is showing the accident between Venus and Ketu, Ketu being the Karaka for accidents, and Venus showing the vehicles. By the way, he also purchased that plane in that Venus Antardasha, so in that Dasha related to this yoga, he also started the whole series of events which ultimately was leading to his death. When we see this Parivartana in the Navamsha between Mercury and Saturn, so it has to do with the 4th lord, so it has also to do with the property. And we know that 3 years after the marriage, he went to Aspen, and he also bought the house there, and it was in the Jupiter-Saturn Dasha, so it was very much related to there. But because of that Parivartana with the 8th house, we also know that this has finished or ended, and when the divorce was there. So in Saturn is 8th lord in the Navamsha, which shows that the divorce is coming. It was also in the, we remember, 2nd lord from Upapada. So both these points are, when negative, they are showing that the marriage is finishing at the time. Now this Mercury and Saturn are very much related to his children, because Mercury is the 5th lord. So we know that in this first marriage, he also had 2 children. And this is showing by this Mercury and Saturn, and they were adopted, because Mercury and Saturn exactly is showing the adopted children. So we see how this is perfectly showing the circumstances, the real life, how this is reflecting the situation. The 5th lord is Mercury in the Saturnian sign, both in the Rasi chart and in the Navamsha, and we have 2 planets which is showing 2 adopted children. And it exactly happened. The 3 dashas are showing Mercury activated. It is the Vimsha tree was there, Mercury from the Moon. It was the Narayana dasha was showing the Virgo, and also the natural age was also of the Mercury. So when Mercury got activated in the life, then he started to have children, and this was adopted because of this 5th lord Mercury and Saturn. Now his death was related to Rahu Antardasha in both Moon Vimshotri and the Saturn Vimshotri. We are using the Vimshotri started from Saturn, because Saturn is the Kevala Dasha. It is dispositor of the Moon, and is also the Atma Karaka in the Ascendant. So in both of the Dashas, it was the Rahu Antardasha. So now if we see the Rahu, this is the Maraka from the Aruda Lagna, because Aruda is in Leo, so Rahu will lord the 7th house. So often the Maraka to the Aruda Lagna is very dangerous time. And in the Navamsha, this will be Rahu in the 6th house in the Scorpio, showing the accidents. By the way, in the Navamsha, the 12th house is showing the circumstances of demise. There we have this Ketu. Ketu is showing the accidents, and this is a sign loaded by Venus, which shows cars or planes. So this exactly describing the situation. It was also with the Jupiter Badakesha. So Badakesha is also showing this unforeseen circumstances like accidents and so on. And 5th from Aruda Lagna is also indicating the accidents. We remember that it was the Leo in the Rasi chart, and 5th from Leo is having that Parivartana with the Sun in the sign of accident Sagittarius, and between Ketu, significator of accidents, and Venus, significator of planes. This is exactly showing that situation. And the Rasi Dasha at the time, of course, we have two Rasi Dashas. One was related to the 12th house of Taurus, which is showing the demise, and the second was related to the Capricorn. The Capricorn is showing 8th house in the Navamsha, which is also showing this death or bad situations, negative situations related to health. And Antardasha in the Moon and in the Saturn, Vimshotri was related to Rahu, and Rahu is aspecting the 12th house of demise in the Navamsha. So from all the dashas, from all perspectives, we see that it was very dangerous time. So we could say that at that time he shouldn't touch anything related to cars, planes, or anything which could bring such a negative experience. Okay guys, so thank you again for being here with me. I'm very grateful for that. I wish you all the best in the new year 2023. I hope it will be much better than 2022. Also, if you would like to learn more about the accidents, please see this video here.